everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Vicky. Today we're going to marinate these octopus island style. I'm going to start with my épices, aka sofrito, which is a base that in our foundation of our Caribbean cooking, which is green onions, bell peppers, the tips of it, onions, and garlic. Okay, in the islands, we don't use a lot of dry rub because number one, it was not really accessible. Salt, pepper, of course, maybe some garlic powder, but we really do use fresh garlic and fresh herbs at the foundation of our cooking because spices are very, very, very expensive. So starting with that, I'm going to add a little bit of oil to it just to liquefy it a little bit. About 2 tablespoons. Just remember, the more oil you add, the more calories you add to your food. 1 tablespoon is equal to 120 calories. So be very mindful as to how much oil or fat, any fat that you're adding to your food. My next step, I'm going to add some white wine vinegar, about 1 tablespoon also. My hands are calibrated, so grab a measuring spoon. Been doing this for over 15 years, so I'm able to know when to stop. When in Caribbean cooking, we marinate in layers. So right now, this is my foundation. I clean my octopus and I will add it to it. But once you add the raw fish, you can't go ahead and taste it. So the method to my madness is to make my marinade, taste it, and then add and adjust. I'm going to start with some of my house blend, which is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But it's basically onion powder, garlic powder, and some herbs. Rule of thumb, you could always start with a 1/4 teaspoon. You can keep adding, but don't add too much because you can't remove. That's the beauty of cooking savory. Baking is another question. I have my smoked Caribbean seasoning, which I'm going to add to this wonderfulness, and you could also switch to a whisk, which might be better. We don't waste anything, so let me just wash this down with a little bit of my vinegar. We need a little acid with the seafood anyway, so it goes a long way. We're gonna make it spicy as well. See how the colors are changing here? I'm gonna add a little bit of sea salt, some pepper, and some dry parsley. One of the things that I love to do, although I have this, you could either add a little bit of water or you could add a little bit of vinaigrette that you have over the counter to make it semi-homemade. I found this wild balsamic vinaigrette, which I like a lot. I'm gonna put a little bit, it has all in the perfect acidity to it. And I have some water just because I need more for my fish. This is a wet marinade, okay? But remember, my épices started it all. Now I need a spoon to try because once I put the fish, I can't go back into it unless it's cooked. You could get very sick. You need a little bit more salt. Sometimes if it's too acidic, you could correct that with a little bit of honey or a little bit of sugar. It's lacking flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of Old Bay seasoning to it as well. All right. There we go. This is a sample of how we start marinating any meat in the Caribbean. And you best believe we do not eat it right away. We marinate it, let it sit overnight, and then we cook it the next day. So everything for us in the islands, we have to plan. We don't just marinate or season, salt and pepper, and then we grill it. We have to marinate it overnight. And that's the secret to Caribbean cooking. Let's go ahead and try it. Wonderful. I'm going to adjust again, but for now, it's great. Let me go ahead and grab my octopus. And one by one, I'm going to make sure that everything gets drenched into, look at this, this is beautiful. And I've I've started buying those home vacuum seal, and I'll explain to you why. Most people probably won't gravitate towards getting some vacuum seal bag. Well, when you put it in a vacuum seal bag, it actually compresses, it removes the air, and it actually makes, if you wanted a quick marinade, that's one way. You don't have to let it sit overnight. You just go ahead and put it in the bag and remove the air from it from your little home vacuum seal machine, and you can do it within 2 to 3 hours. There we go. All right, at that point I'm going to toss. Look at this, how beautiful is that? I'm not claiming this is Spanish style, this is Caribbean style. So you have acid, you have seasoning, and we're gonna finish it once we grill it with some herb chimichurri. You could add mango or grilled pineapple to it and it'll go very good also. But today we're gonna make it spicy. We're gonna use some shishito peppers in my chimichurri. Let me go ahead and adjust my seasoning. You have to cook in layer. If you just dump it all in there and call it a day, it's not gonna work. So you gotta cook with love. And cooking with love means knowing when to adjust and when to pull back. Again, you cannot remove, but you can add. There we go. Till next time, keep it unique, fresh, and tasty.